Okay, so we're looking at the modal short form tripentatonic regular caged box here, which would be our G box here. So we got 6/7 root as our G string shape starting out here. Now E would become the 6. Here's your fret nut. E would become the 6th of G. So we've got our G-shaped G in tripentatonic. Then we go to our C-shaped. What's the 4th of G? C. We go to a D-shaped D. Sounds good to me. Now notice we can play that suspended 4th on the 5th. We can do that, but you can't do that to the 4th and stay in the key of G. Unless you want to call it a modified key of G, but it's really not the G scale. The G pentatonic, the G diatonic scale is anything to do with the G scale. Let me get this. Sorry, I said I wouldn't cross over with my finger anyway. My arm. There's your G scale. So we can play the 4th of the 5th. Okay, well this is just the 4th of the G Ionian. But if we're in the key of C, okay, and we go to the 5th, we can play its 4th, and with the 4th, we can play its 7th. So positive, there's what we can play. What we can't play is this, or we can't play this if we're in the key of this, unless you want that to sound really cool. So as we go around the mode, you see G, we go up a pentatonic scale, G, then to an A minor, shape second minor, and in the key of G it would be A minor. It would be an A minor Dorian, so it wouldn't be it wouldn't be an A minor Aeolian, because the relative 6th of G is E flat, E minor. All right, so let's just take a breather. I'm gonna have to start doing a little more charting. I've had kind of like a tough week. My father passed away 8 days ago, and I had a bad toothache, and I've been taking a lot of painkillers, so I'm still kind of, into playing some sad songs. My dad, I don't really connect with him on my guitar songs, so it kind of takes my mind off of him. We have so many photographs of him that that's what really gets me connected with him. Things having to do with his life and sailing and Notre Dame and all that stuff. So let's move on with the lesson. So that's what we have up here. This is just our regular go-to fretboards. We have the modal cages now, where we have the addition of 4, 5, 6 Lydian cage. We have the 7 root 2 Locrian cage, as opposed to the root 2, 3 Ionian cage, which is also an E string shape. Okay, and of course we have our regular D cage, A cage, G cage, and C cage over here, the regular C cage. These are the old-fashioned tripentatonic modals as you go around in a pentatonic increasing scale. Any of these will spell caged if you go backwards, counterclockwise. C-A-G-E-D. Here's C-A-G-E-D. More or less it spells caged. C-A-G-E-D. Why is there a double there? And some kind of a double or adjusted double there. But this is just the way I had decided to call this, to the Locrian. The 7th, so it's first, it's Ionian, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. But mostly you're looking at the word cage, C-A-G-E-D. Okay, because it's easy to look at the C cage when you go E minor to an E-shaped F. That's all it is. That's why we say C-E-G. C-E-G. So that's what's up there on that chart. Now let's look at what's going on with the substitutions. So the reason why I started doing the substitutions is it's easy to do substitutions with the regular cage system, but when we go to the modal cage system that I made, the subs and the long patterns, the substitutions become more valuable. They make things a little easier, because we're no longer saying, okay, we're going to substitute an E shape F for the fourth. Okay, we're going to use a system where we move the pattern up and move the pattern down. So here's let's just look at our regular diatonic. And remember, fully adjusting the fourth and the fifth, it comes back to the regular diatonic scale. So in regular diatonics, we got root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. Okay, so we go the top part of our S3XL, all right, which we have basically an REXL, S2 REXL, 2 string, and we have the S4E, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, two negatives into 2 positives, but we have to warp it over for the tuning third. So to maintain that perfect fourth, we have to go up 1 fret. So the pattern just gets moved up like that at between the B and the G string. It becomes our regular diatonic here. Move this pattern up. Okay, move this pattern up, and the bottom string becomes what was underneath the root 2, 3. Well, root 2, 3 is the same. Remember about guitar, you know the bottom and the top string are pretty much the same notes. They're not the same pitch. They're like off by 2 octaves, but they're the same note. If you had to give that note a name, you would have to call it the same letter. So we've got the top and the bottom are the same. When we move this pattern up 1, what comes underneath is going to be 5, 6, 7 roots. So we're going to put that there. And that's for the fourth. Why we move it up and get a fourth? Because when the string shapes, look at the direction that the string shapes are going. The fourth of E is A. Okay? Therefore, when we move the pattern up, we get an A on the bottom. We've got the fourth of the E pattern. Except for one thing. On that fourth, okay, it'll work for triads. Will it work for pentatonic? Yes. Will it work for diatonic? No, because of only one note in that fourth, and that's the fourth of the fourth. We can't play the fourth of the fourth. In other words, there's my regular Ionian root, key of C. If I go in the fourth, that's hitting a B flat, is not a white note, so it's not in the key of C. Okay, a lot of people consider it, it would be the key of C7 or something. Play C dominant, this whole jam is C dominant. It's like, yeah, I love it. But that would be the key of F. So we can't play the fourth of the fourth there. So that's the only thing we can't do when we move the pattern up. So let's look at how it's adjusted. Don't worry about this. I made the diagram and I didn't see this, that I had cropped that out at one point. So we have to make an adjustment here. But keep in mind, and I'm going to say this now, I didn't really realize this when I was making the chart, that if we fully adjust the fourth and the fifth, we're going right back to the regular root diatonic. So we're going like this. See, we stayed in white keys. Okay, we're talking about in the long patterns. Okay, we're going to make the substitutions for the 4th and the 5th with a minor adjustment. And keep in mind, we want to keep it positive. So I already wrote this down for today. Keep it positive. Positive. Play. We want to play adjustment back to diatonic. We want to know what we can play. So here's what we're going to play. In the 4th, we're going to go root 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, no 4th of the 4th. And in the 5th, we're going to go root 3, 4, 5, 6, no 7th in the 7th. Because guess what? If we add the 4th and the 7th of the 4th and the 5th modes, we're right back to the diatonic of the 1st, which is, you know, from previous lessons. Yeah, that's how to play guitar. That's how to play guitar. You do like, this might be the C mode, right? And if I take it to like a B minor, this happens to be a B flat minor. That's going to be the 4th mode, right? But I'm still going to play that first diatonic. Okay, I'm playing the original diatonic. It's almost like they say when you talk about playing the blues, you go to the 4th, play the same. It's almost like that, but it's certainly not definitely like that, because I haven't done a complete study of that, because blues scales are actually just minor scales. They're like a 6 minor scale with a little adjustment, a little chromatic addition between the 2nd and the 3rd, between the 2nd and the 3rd, or 3rd of the 4th of the relative minor.